All right. Good evening. My name is Mike Bernardo, and this presentation is about data-driven policing, an analysis of MTA and NYPD data for transit officer deployment. As of this month, 64.8% of New Yorkers have been vaccinated with at least one dose, and a lot of work and travel restrictions have been lifted. As a result, the MTA has seen an increase in ridership in the month of May from about 500,000 last year to 1.8 million this year. Unfortunately, according to the NYPD, also in May, subway crime has increased by 93% compared to last year. As a result, the Office of the Mayor is adding additional officers whose purpose is to address this. The Mayor is requesting information that would help determine which subway stations to best deploy these new troops. To do this, I'm using MTA turnstile data from April to the end of June this year and last, which has counts of entrances and exits for every turnstile in the transit system, coupled with location data also from the MTA. I'm also using NYPD transit crime data, and with these, I will initially be showing two lists, one focusing first on ridership and the other on the occurrence of crime. And in the end, I intend to combine these lists to create a list of recommended stations to deploy the additional officers. I've started taking by taking a small sample of 10 subway stations from the MTA data and compared daily ridership from 2020 and 2021. And you'll notice that the orange bars representing 2021 are significantly more than those of the blue bars representing 2020. I've looked at similar stations as well, and the results are the same, wherein there is in fact a significant jump in ridership since last year. After identifying all of the stations within the data, I came up with the top busiest stations for 2021. And as mentioned earlier, I merged this with geolocation data, which allows me to plot these stations on the map. Looking at the list, 34th Street Penn Station, which is home to and serves as a connection or transfer point to several transit lines, is the busiest station in the list. Looking closer at the 34th Street station, we can see how, again, ridership has increased compared to last year as well. Stations with ridership like this would greatly benefit from the additional protection. The New York Transit Bureau consists of 3 commands which serve 4 out of the 5 boroughs, excluding Staten Island, and coverage of the police force is divided into 12 districts. So the crime data that I'm using is taken from NYC Open Data, and it was merged with data from the NYPD website. It lists reported crimes by date and time, and also specifies the closest station to where the crime occurred and the precinct that took the report. I summed the number of complaints and grouped them by district to identify which district has the highest reported crimes. Note that District 1 has the largest chunk at 19%. I also listed the top 10 stations with the highest reported crimes, and take note that the top 3 stations in the list are all within the jurisdiction of District 1. Also of interest is the second on the list, the 42nd Street Times Square station, which has less than half of the reported crimes of the number 1 slot, whereas the Crown Heights station in District 32 accounts for a large portion of the 2% of crimes reported overall. Here is the same data as seen as a heat map of crimes reported. Notice the red cluster centered around the 42nd Street Port Authority station, which just so happens to be District 1. Now let's dig deeper into District 1, and you'll see that the blue line represents the crimes reported from that single station, 42nd Street Port Authority, and the orange represents the total crimes for the entire district, which covers 6 entire police precincts from April to June this year. That single station has such a large impact in overall crimes reported, and since this station is also on our busy station list, it would also benefit from the additional police officers. To conclude, I combined both of the lists, the MTA ridership as well as the NYPD crime stats list, into a single list. My recommendation to the mayor's office is to deploy the additional officers to these stations. Upon request for further analysis, we can also show the best times, the best days, and the number of officers to deploy at these stations. This concludes my presentation, and thank you for your time.